My name is Shanice Hill from Atlanta, Georgia. I am a wife, mother, business owner, and I now add author to my resume with writing my first book, The Playbook to Being the Other Woman. This book is a guide to relationships with one man and multiple women. And this is based out of my own life, becoming my husband's second wife. This book was important to me because there was a need for it. Coming into this relationship, there were very few resources that I found that gave me what I needed. Growing up, the women around me did not teach me how to maintain a relationship after there had been any infidelity, or even if a man outwardly just expressed that he wanted to be with multiple women. We were taught to cuss, fuss, fight, cause havoc, but not how to maintain the relationship, how to keep the family together, how to build a relationship with that woman so that everything is beneficial for everyone. And my learning process was very lonely because I did not have that knowledge. That process was a lot harder than I believe, and I now know was way harder than it should have been. So I wanted to be the one to give that guide to women, to give them what I did not have. And it's been a very special journey for me to be able to do that. My approach to writing this book was just like my one-on-one sessions with women. For the last few years, I've been counseling women in their marriages, most of which are already married, been married for many years, most of which with children, and just giving them advice on how to deal with his dating life, building that relationship with the other woman, sex, children, family, friends, household structure, all of those basic instructions for a polygynous life. And it was very rewarding, and I enjoy it so much, but I did see that there was a need for that information to be more widespread. So that's why I had to write the book. Though the conversation is changing some with because people are being more expressive about non-monogamous relationships, there are still some who feel like this conversation and relationship structure is about the man having sexual freedom, when in reality, it's more so about the family structure, keeping it together for the children who need both mom and dad. And in these days and times of what's going on, that additional feminine energy and love, care in the home is much needed for the children. And it's to ensure that they have a solid foundation. We all speak about the village that it takes to raise the child, but when it's time to put it into action, such as allowing another woman to come into the home and for it to be at peace and mobility and development of everyone, then we get a little shaky on that. And on the other side, it would be the crime factor. We see so many relationships in the news where the woman finds out her man is cheating and decides to cause harm to that man, sometimes resulting in death. Or she may put that energy towards the other woman and cause harm to her. This is disheartening that because a man has chosen to have a relationship with someone else, that an individual decides to take another's life. It's honestly not that deep. You can either be with it or walk away. But to take someone's life is a bit extreme, and we see this too often in the news. So that is the bigger conversation of a polygynous relationship. Family structure and preventing crimes of passion, relationship, domestic violence, and such. There will be some women who just completely disagree with this lifestyle, and that is okay because everyone is not made for this. Every woman cannot do this, every man cannot do this, but an understanding for it is needed all around. with social media and everyone has a podcast, there are many opinions being put out on relationships, and a lot of them are uninformed. So for anyone who may not necessarily want to live this lifestyle for themselves, I suggest that you still do read this book so that you can have an experienced person's point of view on it, so that you are more informed. It may not be the lifestyle for you, but a family member may choose it. A friend may choose it. Even your children may choose this lifestyle down the line, and to be equipped with that knowledge and understanding of it will benefit you in those relationships later in life. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in this polygynous marriage was to give grace and to have the understanding that just as I went through this learning process alone without much guidance, my husband went through that as well. And for any of the hiccups and head bumps that came along in this process of us growing together, I have to learn to remember that he had to go through that alone as well, which allowed me to show him grace and compassion, and to be able to grow together, and for me to be able to charge those issues or mishaps to his inexperience and not to his heart of mind towards me or our relationship or to him as a leader at all. Because again, he had to learn this alone, and I know for a fact that it is not an easy role, especially being the leader of the family and of the relationship. So that was one of the biggest things, most valuable things that I learned in this process. One of my favorite authors would have to be Sister Shahrazad Ali. Not only is she an author, but also a speaker. Her book, The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman, that was really a catapult for me to write this book, because of the raw perspective that she gave on us as women, just being very much brutally honest to the point where it could hurt. And I love that hurt. I love that exposure of us to give us that knowledge. And being that I am in this relationship and have been successfully, I wanted to make sure that I did my part to give knowledge and understanding to the women of now, to add on and continue the legacy of bettering us as women through works of writing and speaking. Yes, Playbook to Being the Other Woman. This is just the first book in the series. There are more coming. Like I said, this is a foundational understanding, just giving, that basic understanding in all those areas, but we will definitely be going deeper. I am going to let the audience kind of guide me on what they want more information on next, so that it's, interactive in that sense. But I have definitely had requests for me to go deeper into how to get over jealousy, because that is what leads to the family breaking apart and those crimes of passion and things that come afterwards. So, after you guys read the book, give me an email, send me a DM, let me know, okay, we need more in this area, because I want to be able to kind of just counsel the world and whoever is listening, just give the ladies what they want and what they need. Well, you can find me on Instagram at _THA girl NXT door _ and you can find us on YouTube with our podcast for relationships, polygyny included, of course, under Polygyny with Bees P, where myself, my husband, my co-wife, and also our co-host, Miss Tisha, where we discuss all things relationships, and it definitely gets spicy. So check us out on there. And you know, we have a lot of other things coming. We've been approached about reality series, so you never know. You never know. But we definitely want to give people more of a inside look on how this works successfully and happily, because that's what it's all about: family, success, and growth.